Good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant Colonel George Evans, Deputy Commissioner of Operations of the Pennsylvania State Police. Joining me today is District Attorney Deb Ryan, Chief County Detective David Sasa, Rob Clark from the U.S. Marshal's Office, ASAC Jamie Milligan, FBI Philadelphia, Commander Andrew Regan, U.S. Border Patrol, and Director Bill Messerschmidt, Chester County Emergency Management. There have been a significant number of developments in this investigation over the past 24 hours. Earlier this morning, at approximately 12:30 a.m., PSP was made aware of a sighting of Cavalcante in the East Pikeland area of Chester County. Our occurrences. Sometime during the evening of September 9th, Cavalcante stole a 2020 Ford Transit van from an area approximately 3 Gardens property. The keys had been left in the van, and the theft was not noticed until PSP canvassed the area looking for a The keys had been left in the van, and the theft was not noticed until PSP canvassed the area looking for a possible stolen vehicle after a report of a sighting of Cavalcante in the East Pikeland area. It was determined Cavalcante used the van and traveled to that area. At 9:52 p.m., he attempted to contact an individual he had known and worked with several years prior. Cavalcante spoke with the individual via a video doorbell at that residence and inquired about meeting with that individual. The individual was at dinner with his family and did not respond to meet Cavalcante. Cavalcante left that residence. The homeowner eventually returned home, reviewed his doorbell recording, and called local police. PSP received a call about this sighting and the next at 12:30 in the morning on September 10th, 2023. This was our first indication that Cavalcante had been able to travel from the area of Longwood Gardens. Photos of Cavalcante were downloaded from a video doorbell and have already been provided to the media. And some of those photos are here adjacent to the podium. You will note that Cavalcante is now clean-shaven and wearing a bright green hooded sweatshirt. Investigators were also made aware of another sighting in the Phoenixville area in which Cavalcante appeared at a residence of another old work associate at 10:07 p.m. That associate was not home, but a female resident observed Cavalcante and called her friend. That friend responded to the residence and eventually placed a call to local police. Police investigated and then notified PSP. During that investigation, there was an indication of a white vehicle possibly being used by Cavalcante. An updated photo of Cavalcante was provided to state and local law enforcement at 2:30 a.m. Using the description provided, at 5:20 a.m., investigators identified a vehicle from the Longwood Gardens area which fit the description of the vehicle operated by Cavalcante. Upon contacting the vehicle owner, the owner realized their vehicle had been stolen. Further investigation revealed the keys had been left in the vehicle. Law enforcement nationwide was immediately notified of the theft, and an alert was provided to state and local law enforcement at 5:37 a.m. After an extensive search, the vehicle was discovered abandoned in a field behind a barn in East Nantmeal Township at 10:40 a.m. Investigators have been searching the area around that location since that time. We are obviously very concerned that Cavalcante has or will attempt to steal another vehicle to facilitate his escape. As a reminder, we ask for the public's help by familiarizing themselves with the updated photographs and description of Cavalcante, to check security cameras they have, and to call us immediately if they believe they may have seen him. Again, we ask residents to please secure homes, outbuildings, and vehicles. This most recent incident is a reminder that he will take advantage of any opportunity to obtain items he needs. It is also imperative that anyone with information about Cavalcante contact us immediately so we can act on it in a timely manner. I have told you from the start of this manhunt that we were conducting a multifaceted investigation, which includes strong investigative and technological components. Those aspects become even more important now. We will aggressively continue this investigation with our federal, state, county, and local partners until we successfully bring Cavalcante back into custody. Cavalcante is considered extremely dangerous, and there is a reward of up to $20,000 offered for information leading to his capture. Anyone with information is asked to call our tip line at 717-562-2987. 717-562-2987. I know this is an extremely stressful time for the community. I assure you, we are doing everything possible to bring this to a successful resolution as quickly as possible. I also want to make mention of a special thank you to Longwood Gardens. I will tell you that for some time, the past several days, we've had to essentially take over that property, and they have been very, very accommodating, and I appreciate that. You know, not everyone and not every business or organization would be as accommodating, and so I thank them. And with that, I will be happy, and as will the others here, to take any questions that you may have.
You had 400 officers within this perimeter. You had it closed down to a 4 square miles, I understand it. Yet he somehow slips through this perimeter and then is spotted in Phoenixville. How do you explain that?
Well, what I would tell you is that, as I've said from the very beginning, there are a number of challenges in any investigation. No perimeter is 100% secure, ever. We did a very good job, and I will tell you, I applaud the men and women who were out there standing in some very difficult conditions and trying to secure that perimeter. I'm not going to make an excuse to you. I wish it had not happened. Unfortunately, there are a lot of circumstances, there are a lot of issues associated with that property. Tunnels, very large drainage ditches, things that could not be secured. You couple that with weather, aviation being down for a night. There are a number of reasons. Again, no excuses. We took on the responsibility. We gave it a very good effort. We gave it an exceptionally good effort, and I applaud the men and women who've done the job.
Is there a reason that there are underground tunnels?
There are underground tunnels there.
We provided blueprints along with gardens. Was that did the management there facilitate you in that aspect?
They did help us with blueprints, and as a matter of fact, there's additional construction that also has other tunnels and drainage areas that are under construction. Those cannot be secured. It's really that simple. So you do the best you can with any given circumstance. It's no different when it's a wooded search. It's no different when there are challenges with every one of them. And so we do the very best that we can. Our people did a great job, and I applaud them. I wish that he had not been able to slip through there, but that does happen sometimes, and that's why we don't simply rest on our laurels and say, okay, we're going to take one approach. I will tell you, I mean, to give you some idea, I brought you all in here on Friday and showed you the scope of this. I nearly doubled the planning for 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Our plan had been to go close to 600 members of law enforcement to do one massive sweep of that entire piece of property. There's a huge amount of planning goes into that, and working around weather and some of those other kinds of things. So it is not for a lack of trying that this occurred. We'll fall back, as we do in any other investigation. When something doesn't go our way, we'll fall back to something else. In the end, I am confident we will capture him, and we will bring him back into the criminal justice system.
So you believe that Cavalcante's family?
I'm sorry, so
We're hearing that his sister was
Give
arrested.
me your focus now. Where is it?
currently, we're up in a more northern part of the county. I do not have a perimeter secured up there. We're searching an area around where we recovered the van, but there are a number of other pieces of information that are in play that don't require a perimeter and are the focus of our efforts at this point.
What is Cavalcante's family's involvement at this point? His mom was assisting you earlier, but we're now hearing that his sister's been arrested by ICE and possibly for deportation.
That is accurate.
And
Do you believe that
family
he's
cooperated?
Do you believe that he's getting any assistance from those family members or anyone else in this community?
As always, I'm not going to comment on what assistance he may or may not be receiving. but we take steps to try and minimize or eliminate that assistance, and that's exactly what we've done at
What
this
is the
point.
focal point of the search right now?
The physical search right now is near that the recovery of that van, but again, there are a number of other things in play that don't require that physical presence up there, and those are all equally or even more important at this point.
You still believe he is in Pennsylvania and probably Chester County? Have other special forces come in over the last few hours to support your efforts from other states? And then anything you tell us about the victim's family right now?
I do believe that he's still in Pennsylvania. I can tell you that the victim's family remains under protection, and we assure them that they will be fully protected through all of this. And I'm sorry, what was the other part of your question?
Additional support coming in from other states?
Yes, as always, we adjust. You know, I just mentioned the planning that obviously I couldn't disclose to you ahead of time, but the planning that was going into tomorrow's efforts. We were bringing even more resources in. What we're doing now is shifting, again, based on the nature of how I see the investigation playing out and going forward. All of our partners here are doing an amazing job of shifting now and bringing the resources we need to bear. Yes, sir.
Can you repeat the location where that van was located, just so we make sure we have that right? And then also, this video or these images that you're sharing with us, what has the person who shared these images told you about? What he's saying through this ring camera? What is he asking for? Does this tell you that he's now trying to get support from a business?
So the first part of your question, East Nantmeal Township in Chester County. The second part, I'm not going to be specific, but yes, he is absolutely, I'll give it a general characterization, he is absolutely looking for support. He needs that support, he doesn't have it. Yes, ma'am.
How did he get from Mount Jordan over to Baby's Farm and nobody saw him? Because police cars all around Nottingham, Northbrook, the last 2 days said, how come nobody saw him? How did he get there?
Well, ma'am, first of all, you've got darkness, you've got a variety of weather conditions, and you've got some fairly rugged terrain. And I mentioned, you know, drainage ditches, underground tunnels, all of those kinds of things. There are a lot of factors. Until I capture him or we capture him and I or others have an opportunity to interview, and if he would share that, I guess then we'll know. But until then, I don't know how he got over there. I wish I did. I could speculate on a couple of possibilities, but I can tell you that again, no perimeter is 100% secure. We do the best we can. Most times, we're able to secure it adequately.
For clarification, these images from the doorbell camera, they were from his acquaintance's home?
These were from, yes, it was, when I say an acquaintance, it was someone he had worked with several years ago. I'm not suggesting that they have a relationship with him now. It was someone that he's worked with, but he sought out their assistance.
Is there any location that, you know, he might have a weapon or anything? Is there anything from any of these videos or anything that just indicated?
I don't have any substantive proof right now that he has a weapon, but clearly he has been in residences, businesses, and in vehicles, at least one, that I can't say what may or may not have been in any of those locations that he had access
How
to.
much has this cost so far? How much will you all need? How much will research?
I got to tell you, I'm not tracking the cost right now. We're doing what it takes to successfully run this investigation. In terms of what we need, I will tell you that our partners have been amazing. Anything that I've asked for, anything that they have suggested, because there's a lot of expertise standing behind me and in the room over here. Anything that has been reasonably suggested by any of us, each of us steps up and accommodates with those resources.
What are you going to use though to try to, like, you know, elevate this search?
Well, again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I've suggested all along that there are a number of investigative and technological pieces that can be brought to bear. That is where this shifts until such time as we have him in a position where we're prepared to try and contain and capture him again.